from summer break. Thank you all for listening to the Court Jesters podcast. We are back with episode 8, and we are, oh my god, he's opening the Modelo. I'm Brad Rickert, I'm your co-host, and with me as always is my good friend,
Matthew Patrick Torres.
Oh, come on, do the bumper, do the thing.
Hello! It's Matthew Patrick Torres, and we're at my house this time.
That's right, we're in the bustling neighborhood of Pilsen in Chicago, Illinois. I just got rerouted on a bus because we had to avoid a carnival. Lots of little, what do you call them? Little rides,
little carnies.
Just in the middle of the street. It was great, but yeah, I'm excited to be here. We're at Matt's house. We're in his little man cave or whatever.
Yeah, this is where my podcast goes on. If you ever, or my other podcast, if you guys want to look at both of them.
This is where he keeps all his books. You are a badass. It's the self-affirmations that he needs to not fucking go crazy every day.
My war medals.
Damn! I thought those aren't from the war. That's from eating.
Oh, these are my eating contest medals.
Damn it. But yeah, anyway, so I don't know if you guys know this, but this guy fought in the war. La-di-da.
We bring it up every episode. Today's episode, Matt's going to talk about things that hurt his back. The heaviness of the book bags they made us wear.
Oh, that's where they keep all the grenades to kill the babies. Anyhow,
what was I going to tell you?
Oh yeah, well we've been off. Oh, you were going to say something. Sorry, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so if you follow it like religiously, we go back and forth. Normally weekly, and then so we thought the summer was going to be like a huge break. Like we thought, like a couple major things had to happen, like Zion and like a little weird things.
Obviously the draft.
But since last podcast, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, yeah. So if we're gonna hop into the NBA talk pretty quickly, because we've been off for I think like 3 weeks or so, and in that time, free agency started. The draft took place. The summer league happened. And pretty much half of the major stars in the NBA moved teams, which is pretty crazy. I think this is, I mean, obviously we've been basketball fans our whole life. Have you ever seen anything like this in terms of the amount of movement from players in one off season?
I hate to be like a wiener rider, but I think it was just all LeBron. Him moving and then not going to the finals for the first time in a really long time. I feel like everything kind of crumbled.
Well, yeah, I think it was
Golden
a mix,
State
right?
Fell apart.
Right, it was a mixture of LeBron moving to the West and coming out of the East, which opened up the possibility for all these teams to have a shot in the East. Golden State was on the last year of their run, so we, for the first time, saw a wide open league. Like, I mean, as soon as KD went down, we saw the endless possibilities open up. It could have been the Milwaukee Bucks. It could have been the Philadelphia 76ers. If the Houston Rockets would have stepped up, it could have been them. If Anthony Davis is traded in the middle of the year last year as opposed to the offseason, who knows, the Lakers are maybe in the mix. But yeah, it's crazy to see this much movement. I have a list right here of some of the major moves that happened. We have obviously Kawhi and Paul George going to the Clippers.
Probably the biggest one.
Without a doubt the biggest. I would say, I mean, KD and Kyrie moving both to the Nets is up there as well. But we're still going to have to wait a year before we know what even that could be. So I think immediately speaking, Kawhi and PG to the Clippers is huge, which then you have this domino effect where Russell Westbrook ends up having to move because the Thunder are shit. So Westbrook to Houston is pretty huge. Jimmy Butler to Miami. We talked about KD and Kyrie. Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins to the Lakers. Don't sleep on Cousins. And then
I was just in Miami, and like 2 days after they moved, they already had, I think I sent it to you, they already had Butler jerseys everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, you know, Jimmy Butler in Miami, I don't know why, but it just seems to fit right.
Yeah, I almost like had a weird feeling like he was already in Miami before. That's how it fits so well. He looked like he belongs there. It's kind of like, I still don't think they're going to do much. I don't know.
I mean, Miami is not on the same level as like the 76ers or the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Bucks need another good player, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. Well, here's also the thing. The Milwaukee Bucks are still going to get better because Giannis is going to get better for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So you're right. They do need another player, but I think Giannis is going to get better. I think Middleton's going to get better.
I think something's going to happen during the year.
Yeah, there's still a lot of moves to be made for sure. I guess let's just start at the top of this trash heap of moves. What do you think about Kawhi making the decision to go to Los Angeles with the Clippers instead of the Lakers and instead of staying with the Raptors? I think it was one of the most boss-ass moves possible. I think the Lakers were in a really good position to dominate with AD and LeBron and then all that extra cap space. And if Kawhi goes to the Clippers by himself, it's a move. It's a big move, but it's not nearly as big of a move as the fact that he got Paul George to come with him. And the Clippers hang on to a lot of their players from last year, too.
It kind of feels like a statement, I guess.
I mean...
like a challenge to LeBron, maybe?
I think Kawhi is without a doubt the guy right now. He's got 2 finals MVPs. He's got 2 championships that mean more than a lot of the championships that have been won. I mean, he's
more youth on his side.
Yeah, he's 28.
Yeah.
When everybody else is in their 30s, that has those types of credentials in the NBA. We're talking about Curry. We're talking about Durant. We're talking about LeBron. There's really no one else in the league that has the same kind of resume as Kawhi Leonard. You know?
Yeah, and then maybe it's like hopefully. Like, I'm just like, he's been trying so hard. LeBron gets another ring. I feel like Kawhi Leonard is going to get another ring. He has so much time on his hands.
I think LA is the center of the basketball universe right now. And I think they are very, very, very close to each other. I think Paul George... I mean, what's a better duo? Let's start there. Do you think the Paul George, Kawhi Leonard duo is better? Or do you think the Anthony Davis, LeBron duo is a better duo?
I have to put some caveats in there.
Okay.
Is LeBron going to stay healthy?
I mean, is Kawhi going to stay healthy? Is Paul George going to stay healthy?
You're talking about because that little limp at the end?
I mean, LeBron is older, and he had more issues last year specifically, but those two, for their whole careers, have been injury-prone. They've missed games their entire careers. You know, Paul George has been sidelined multiple times for a long, long time. He had shoulder issues last year. Kawhi had leg injuries last year. I'm not sure... that's the only question, is LeBron healthy? It's going to be a question of, is everyone going to stay healthy, you know?
I mean, if they all stay healthy, I would reluctantly say LeBron.
Yeah. I mean, I think Anthony Davis is going to come out of the fucking gates this year, too. He didn't even have to play much last year. Obviously, LeBron and AD are more well-rested. You know what I mean? Like, they had some time off last year.
Yeah, LeBron might have went into one of those little hyperbolic chambers he goes into, and...
He's been getting cryotherapy for the last 3 months straight.
Yeah. I mean, we joke, but man, he's the richest basketball player ever besides Jordan. He's probably, and I mean, like, in his time, while he's still playing, he has the resources to do whatever he legally can to be awesome.
I think he was at about 60% effort last year, and he still was 27-7-7.
Yeah, there's a point where he knew that he was going to not play.
And I mean, who's he passing to? Kyle Kuzma, Alonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, like. LeBron might not average 27 next year, but I could see him being 25, 10, and 10. Like, I could see his assist numbers skyrocket because he's passing the ball to Anthony Davis at the rim. The pick and roll action on that's going to be crazy. They are going to play a down low, dirty game in LA.
If we have some money, we should try to go to LA.
That'd be pretty fun.
I would see from the lamest seat in the lamest game. A Clippers-Lakers game.
Oh, dude, you know how expensive that's going to be? Like,
yeah, I mean, you don't think we could individually get just like a 300 level somewhere?
If we want to pay $300 for 300 level, I mean,
would
maybe.
You do it? I'd do it.
I mean, maybe. Depends on my financial situation.
Once in a lifetime. If comment in the comments if you want to pay for me and Brett.
We should get a Kickstarter to send us to LA so we can do a live podcast in the 300 section.
Yeah. All those super shitty not for a cause Kickstarters that are out. Like, what happened? We want to make a movie. I was like, there's my friend, right? He's like a normal dude, came from a normal family. I mean, he wasn't even really my friend. I would back off from that. He had to GoFundMe so that he could get a new car. Like, for no reason. Like, it was like...
Yeah, if there's one thing about having a lot of friends that are artists, it's that you get a lot of people that think, one, that their causes matter, and two, that their dreams matter, when usually neither do. So you get a lot of people asking for just general cash, general help, and usually, I hate to be this guy, but usually what I would suggest is maybe trying to work at some point in your life. That might be fun.
But... if you did donate any kind of tickets for me and Brad to go see the LA Clippers-Lakers game,
we'll straight up suck your dick. I mean, we'll take it.
We'll go fund your balls with our hands and our mouths, whatever you want. I'm down for it. I mean, that's probably the game that I'm willing to do it. I can't see like a lot of these other ones. I feel like they're huge trades, but like.
What do you think about Houston? Do you think Russell Westbrook is going to make them a contender again? Do you think they're going to be still in it? Or do you think they take a major step back because those two can't coexist?
I don't know, man.
Dude, I think it's going to work. I mean, those guys like each other. They're both still kind of in their physical prime. Harden's obviously a motherfucking offensive like force that we've never seen before.
They're going to make the playoffs.
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's tough in the West.
Yeah, when you talk about the teams in the West, there's going to be some really good teams that don't make it because we have the Lakers, we have the Clippers, we have Houston, we have the Utah Jazz, which got Mike Conley, and they still have Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. We have the Nuggets, which were the number 2 seed, they were the 1 seed last year, and they're still in that mix. You got the San Antonio Spurs, you got the Golden State Warriors. You got, I mean...
If there was like an Olympics, the West has like 80% of our...
Yeah. Oh, and they've been talking for a bit now about the possibility of getting rid of the conferences in terms of playoff seeding and doing it that way. There's a lot of different discussions on how they might do that so they can make the games... and make less games in the NBA, but also make it to where they still make the same amount of money, which is going to be difficult, but that means more playoff games, which would mean more playoff teams, which would mean a different seeding, because, yeah, the East is nowhere near what the West is. And
I resist that change. I don't want it.
Yeah, well, you're an old man. You fought in the war, so...
I'm going to be like, I'm going to be at the games like when I'm 50 and be like, back when I was a kid, we had 82 games.
Back in my day, there were 82 games, and the Detroit Pistons won 34 and made the playoffs every year.
And we'd never pay 53 credits to see a game.
53 credits, yeah, social credits. That's what we're going to be paying with, the social credits in the future. That gets handed down by Jeff Bezos in forms of Amazon drone strikes that drop credits on you.
They have to push on our heads to download the game. We just sit there like, oh, that was a good game. I can't believe it.
Yeah. So good.
I had sex at mine. I don't know what the future's going to be like.
Yeah, that's just going to be weird.
I mean, do you think this will exist in 20 years maybe?
This specific video?
I hope. If it does, somebody remind me when you watch this, be like Matt or Brad to watch this and I'll watch it.
YouTube.
What if we become rival enemies and we make 2 sports podcasts that compete with each other?
What if we become the Lakers and Clippers of
sports podcasts?
Sports comedy, basketball, Chicago, mediocre comedian podcast.
Would there be like 7 podcasts in the world?
Yeah,
competing with
Imagine a future where there's only 7 podcasts in the whole world and we got about 8 of them.
Yeah, we got all the podcasts.
Ugh.
Does it make it more likely if people listen to your podcast if you make a lot of them? That's our goal. Let me put on my hat. Let me get in the mood. But I know, like, so... Did we finish all the trades that you want to... Yep.
Did we talk about D'Angelo Russell?
Did we talk about Zach LaVine?
What do you think the Nets are going to do in the East this year and moving forward? Because Kyrie's pretty good, and then Kevin Durant might be pretty good when he comes back, or he might not be.
What do I think about...
the Nets, KD and Kyrie in the future. You think they have a chance to win anything?
I think they'll make the playoffs.
Well, yeah, they will make the playoffs this year.
The East playoffs are going to be insane. It's going to be like anybody.
Okay, but imagine a world where they make the playoffs. Kyrie gets into a 4, 5, 6 seed, right? So they don't have to play the Bucks or they don't have to play the Sixers early on. But then KD comes back towards the end of the year. Do you think they have a chance to tear through the East? Just like
yes.
KD tore through his Achilles.
I honestly do. I don't know what it is. People might not agree with me, but I think these days there's some like weird sciencey kind of thing where like some things aren't the end of people anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Like Kawhi Leonard, like everyone's like he'll never be as good as he'll ever be again, and just come back and now he's MVP. And
well, yeah, I feel like the training, the knowledge of science, the medicine,
yeah, they probably don't.
It's just so different. Yeah, I mean, like back in the day, if you get like an injury that takes you out a year, you're just gonna get fucking drunk all the time. You know what I mean? He's just like, oh man, I'm out for a year. I'm gonna drink Hennessy every day.
I'm gonna throw someone through a window.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think John Wall's on that program right now. I don't know if you saw him at the NBA Awards. He came up about 30 pounds overweight, a little wasted, got the sunglasses on. I respect the hustle. You got your $40 million a year, but come on, man, get back in shape because you guys could do something in the East too. The Wizards are a fucking mess.
Well, I like to equate it to, like, it happens with, like, Marines, too. So, like, you ever, like, known other Marines besides me, probably?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
When they get out, a lot of them get fat.
I grew up in Indiana, so everyone I went to high school with joined the military.
They had to join it. But a lot of them get fat when they come back, right?
Sure, yeah, because... Go ahead.
It's the same as the NBA. I think it's an insane amount of calories you're burning, like a super hard lifestyle, and then you go to doing almost nothing in comparison.
Right. You have to, like, make the decision to, like, self-preserve and just stop consuming as much.
Yeah.
And
that
or go crazy at the gym, right? Yeah.
Which doesn't happen that much. That much.
I mean, I guess
I'm trying to maintain. You think I got this receding hairline and this jowl from working out enough?
This is the portion of the podcast where we take a break for me to comb Matt's hair again.
Listen, as I bask in the sun of Pilsen.
This is good. Brush for pubes.
We're almost back.
Hey, we're back.
We're back.
Cool. So we see all these players move. It's the player empowerment era. Everybody's deciding where they want to go and kind of getting out of contracts early. I guess my question is
empowerment. I've heard the opposite.
What's that?
Some people think what Steve Kerr was saying, like players shouldn't be able to bully their way into what team they want to go.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, but they are. I mean, they are. It is the empowerment era for players. He's saying he doesn't think it's a good thing.
But who do you think is right?
I mean, I think if, like in a workforce, right? That's what's happening, right? It's a private league in theory because they can decide who's employed. They draft people. People don't have to play there. It is a company more or less, right, or a corporation. So the question is, if you're a high level anything, if you're the 1% of your field, if you are the best of the best, should you not be able to decide where you want to work on a like year to two basis? I think the weird thing is signing these big contracts, but at least when you're like, contracts get violated all the time, but the contracts are there to save any side from getting fucked too much. But if you're in that 1%, I think you have the ability to do whatever the fuck you want. And if you're unhappy and you make your intentions known that you're not going to re-sign and you don't plan on whatever, I mean, like, what are you going to do, man? I mean, like, these owners have been, like, owning players forever, and I'm not a big fan of companies, like, you know, trying to, like, push people around and do whatever they want, or these franchises kind of keeping people in purgatory. I mean, I need to see Anthony Davis in the playoffs in meaningful games, you know? Like, he doesn't deserve to be in New Orleans wasting his career.
I think the negative is that you have teams that are getting too good. Because now we have teams that are, like, they're not, they're in the same league, but they're not. Like, what are the Suns? Or something like that. Like,
Suns have some upside, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Or the Bulls. I mean, like, the Bulls, like, man, like...
But is that their fault, or is that the league's fault? Like, I
feel like if you couldn't bully your way into, like, the best team to, like, get a championship and keep making these, whatever teams the players want to make, there'd be a little better distribution of talent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the Lakers are the only team that's really tried to bully anything, you know... Or I guess you could say the Warriors a little bit over the last few years.
Maybe salary caps should be more intense.
I mean, the salary caps are pretty tight, you know, so you can only have those 3 big contracts on a team at any given time. That seems to be.
We should go back to paying basketball players minimum wage. You pay them minimum wage. We'll see who really wants to play basketball. $20 an hour, something like that. They just get paid. They have to clean up after the game. Then that'll be some real basketball. Shirts versus skins.
That's a great idea.
That's how I fix the NBA.
Wow. You would have been a great plantation owner.
Oh my god.
Well, that's what you're doing, man. $20
If you're not white, you can't be racist.
I've heard that, actually. That's pretty good.
It's in the Bible.
I've never read it.
It's in Psalms.
Okay, so you're a Max Free. Like all the songs and shit.
If you're not white.
Oh my God.
I don't know why I picture a flute. Psalms. Alright, so over.
Oh my God, you're off track.
If you're against if you made it 20 minutes into the podcast and you're against our racism, comment. Just comment. And we will respond because you'll be one of
our only comments. Okay.
Russell to the Warriors.
D'Angelo Russell, you don't.
I thought you meant Russell Westbrook. I'm like, what happened?
That would be crazy. Yeah.
No, that would destroy. They'd be awesome again.
Maybe. Yeah, I think D'Angelo Russell's a pretty good.
Russell Westbrook and Steph Curry.
I mean, if you could trade an injured Kevin Durant, that's not gonna help you at all for D'Angelo Russell, and you know Kevin Durant's not coming back. That's a pretty good deal. I think the Warriors played that very well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, even though I was like saying the opposite, I feel like there's also a good likelihood Kevin Durant's gonna be trash.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's going to be a really interesting sway of how the league balances, is how much he comes back. I mean, we are in that era where we have a lot of young players that are coming up and like making a huge impact, and then we have these older players that are still having an impact, like Kevin Durant and LeBron and Steph Curry, and then there's those in-betweeners like Kawhi, who's 28, and Kyrie, who's 27, and Anthony Davis, who's 26 or 27. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there is so much talent that are spanning so many different like pockets of time that it's really about linking up with the right person at the right time with the right situation and just running with it.
Man, I think I mean, except for Toronto, you called that this year.
Yeah.
Because I could never predict that Golden State was going to get so hurt.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most unpredictable season. Like.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I on one of our last podcasts, I made the bold statement that the Lakers would win 2 out of the next 3 titles at least, and that was pre-Paul George to the Clippers. And I'm not backing off of it. I still have hope that the Lakers are going to win.
So you stick with the same prediction, or do you want to alter it a little bit?
I'll say it this: L.A., Los Angeles will win the next 2 championships. Clippers or the Lakers.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. This is my prediction. Earthquake hits California. They already got 2. They get a 3rd. It's so bad. The Lakers and the Clippers are playing. Who steps in? Boom! Bulls. Bulls 2020. No? I hope so.
I mean, Anthony Davis may come eventually.
He swims back and still beats the Bulls.
Damn it.
Damn, what happened? The Clippers are fine.
No, I'm just saying I think Anthony might come to the Bulls eventually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's been in the news a little bit. He wouldn't confirm that he was going to re-sign with the Lakers after the season, that he'd like to play in Chicago at some point in his life.
I get my hopes too. I
didn't even want to tell you that, to be honest. If you were a big free agent, like if you had the choice to go anywhere,
the Bulls.
You would? That would be your move? Yeah. You'd be the hometown hero?
Yeah, man. You wouldn't go to your own hometown?
Man, I don't know. It depends, because I guess...
Oh, wait. Like, am I old or no?
I get, yeah, I mean...
If I'm old, I'm going to the Lakers.
Alright, here's what it is. You're Kawhi Leonard, okay? Let's do that, because he's in the best position. He just won his 2nd finals MVP. And with his 2nd team, he's in Toronto, wins the first championship for Canada. Now, let's say salary cap isn't a thing. You can go wherever you want, get paid the same amount of money. Which team do you go to and say you can bring one other superstar with you?
I mean, Kawhi Leonard made a pretty boss move, I feel like, because now it's going to be like, maybe he just wants to be like in the GOAT talk, because if he can go to LA and then beat LeBron, and then
if he gets 2 more, he's got 4. He's got more than LeBron. He's got 1 less than Kobe. He's won with 3 different teams, and he was the best player on all those teams. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and then like Kobe, always has the Shaq problem.
Yeah, with those first 3.
Yeah, so then...
But I mean, think about it. No one's even 3-peated since. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I mean, the Warriors couldn't do it. The Miami Heat couldn't do it.
It's hard.
The Boston Celtics couldn't do it back when they had Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and Ray
But the
Allen.
Bulls were pumping those 3-peats out.
Yeah, the Bulls. I mean, yeah, we can talk about 90s basketball all day.
Yeah, Jordan never got his dad murdered. They would never have the break they needed in that middle.
Yeah, I know.
Then he could do another 3-peat.
Then he would have lost the Magic or some shit, and it would have been sad.
Yeah.
I mean...
Or, the Bulls would have split up.
So that's your move. You would go to the Bulls, you think?
If I was young, the Bulls. If I was old, towards the end, I think I would just go to the Lakers. Some piece of shit. I would go want to play with LeBron.
You'd want to go play in LA and chill out.
Or just play with LeBron. It'd be like, even if LeBron just...
So you would want to play with the greatest player before you? You think it would be cool to team up with the greatest player historically of your generation, or the generation right before you?
Yeah, because then it would be I don't know, who was after... I'd rather play with Jordan than fucking... Who was before? Who was like coming in when Jordan was leaving?
Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, Shaq was on the come up. Tim Duncan was on the come up.
I'd rather play with Jordan than all those people.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it's there. Jordan, man, I hate to say this because then people take it so serious. I don't think Kobe is in a
the same combo as LeBron and Jordan.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
So like I feel like
you can't shoot
Shaq.
You can't shoot 40% for your career.
And he rode Shaq a lot.
And he had 5 to 6 just as a team awful seasons. LeBron had 1 last year.
Yeah. So like I feel like it'd be the same as like when LeBron's old and he stops playing.
Yeah.
If someone told us like, oh yeah, like I used to hang out with Shaq, I'm like, that's cool and weird. But if someone was like, yeah, I used to hang out with Jordan all the time, like, oh shit, wow,
yeah.
Why, where?
Yeah.
Like it'd be I feel like LeBron's gonna be that in about 10 years.
Just so you have that experience but I think Kawhi wants to be that guy. You know what I mean?
And the crazy part is he could be.
Kind of already is, dude. He's got 2 finals MVPs in 2 conferences in 2 countries. No one's ever done that shit.
I mean, I feel like, man, people won't like this because I've actually brought this up in like friendship conversations. I already think like Kawhi Leonard's already like in Kobe. like Kobe.
Well, I think Kobe is just like one of the greatest scorers of all time. So it's
but he's also kind of just selfish.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Kobe is a selfish player.
Didn't he have like one of the higher misses of all time?
Let me put it this way: I think Kobe's a top 10 player, and I would not put Kawhi Leonard in that conversation yet. We got to give him a few more years. Let him.
But he has a good trajectory.
Yeah, definitely, he has a good trajectory. I think that's. I mean, my next question on here that I want to ask, I think it's kind of we've already talked about it, which is which team had the biggest come up, and I think it's got to be the Clippers, right?
Yeah, and then that was just mostly Kawhi Leonard thought to himself somewhere in his laboratory, like,
yeah,
I'm going to show these motherfuckers.
Right, and I mean, also major props to the Pelicans as well for managing to pull off a bunch of great moves to like have a great future. I'd give them honorable mention because they were in a shit position where Anthony Davis was about to walk no matter what, and they were about to just get a bunch of shitty trade offers, and they managed to land Zion, JJ Redick, and then get Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart with all those picks. I think they put themselves in a great position to be on the come up for the next few years as well.
That's where your basketball expertise is like a step ahead of mine, because I feel like even if I wasn't, I would never have like the soundness of mind to think so far in the future.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's even knowing you're not going to do well this year.
Yeah, I think the Pelicans, if they weren't in the West, like say the Pelicans were in the East, I think they're a playoff team already, right now, with Zion as a rookie.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
I mean, they're kind of on the outskirts, so are the Dallas Mavericks, even though they're going to have Duncan and Porzingis.
Yeah, and then me and my friends always talk about Zion needs to lose a little weight. I mean, I can't talk because I'm fat, but I mean, if I was a basketball player, he needs to lose at least like, I don't know, 30, 40 pounds.
I would say maybe 20, but
yeah.
But I mean, he's big, yeah.
Even LeBron James realized one day, like, I can't be this heavy. Like, I need to.
Right. Well, it's hard on your body. It's hard on your knees, your joints. Yeah. It definitely is going to, like, he can't be jumping like that the rest of his life on that weight.
His fucking kneecap's going to come flying out.
Yeah, his knee's going to come out of his fucking skin like a shoe did.
Yeah. Well, I think it was Nike, right? Jordan already signed him to a deal. Like
Zion got his big deal yesterday. He signed to a Jordan brand.
Wow.
5 years, $15 million a year.
And 5 years is a good deal because even if he gets hurt, he's still going to be
well. I think what's good about that deal for him is if he is the next LeBron, if he is the next Jordan, if the shoes aren't the sickest, if they're not selling, if it's not working, he secured the bag for a short period of time to set him up for, being a $100 millionaire no matter what.
For sure.
But if it sucks, he can switch to Nike, he can switch to Adidas, he can switch to wherever.
And just make okay money.
And then be 23, 24. I mean, not make more. I mean, if he's at that level at that point, he's going to have like a $500 million deal waiting.
Oh, no, I meant like if it crashes.
Oh, if he crashes, I mean, I don't think he's going to get another shoe deal. That's not how that works.
I mean, like if he gets hurt, but he's still a player, Jordan might not keep him, but he could get a shoe deal.
You know how the show, like, there's only like maybe 20 people in the NBA with signature shoes.
Yeah, but if he gets hurt and then he's just a pretty good player, you don't think he'd get a shoe deal?
He would get a sponsorship, so they would pay him to wear other people's shoes, but I don't think they would make shoes in his name.
So you're going to let Zion, this is your season.
I mean, he's got a ball. I mean, I think Zion's going to be fine. It's just a matter of doing the right thing, getting in shape, taking care of his body, and trying to get better. But there's always a chance he could get injured. Like Derrick Rose got his career fucked.
Yeah.
He was lucky he had that Adidas deal sitting for so long. He had like what, a 10-year deal or something like that.
Derrick Rose doesn't still have that deal?
No, he does. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
or he just finished it. One of the two.
Maybe that's how I'm thinking because I thought Derrick Rose was hurt and he had his deal.
Yeah, but it's because he was signed for so long. Like, he would have never still had signature shoes if, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that one MVP, it's something.
Oh, for sure. He's the youngest MVP ever. I mean, Chicago represent.
Yeah, he
Derrick
could quit
Rose.
now and he could still be a legend.
Shout out to the Pistons, too, for picking out Derrick Rose. That's what we got to do.
I thought that was weird, actually.
I would have liked to see him go to a contender.
So he's going to play with Blake Griffin?
It's kind of fun for the East, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Something to
throwback.
watch.
It's it's like my favorite retirement home game to watch. It's like the best Big Three team in the NBA. But
I'm surprised. I thought the Bulls were going to take an old player. That's what I thought they were going to do. Like when they took Dwayne Wade. I thought we were going to get Carmelo.
I thought they were going to get Rose back or Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah,
I mean, the Bulls could. I mean, the Bulls should do something to sell tickets because I'm tired of fucking watching Levine just dribble all fucking day, and that fucking Italian point guard just running around with his beautiful hair. Ryan Arson. I don't know.
Yeah, and they traded Lopez too, right?
He's gonna leave. I don't think he got traded.
No, I thought
contract.
he's going to Milwaukee.
He is.
The
Yeah.
Lopez brothers are playing.
It's gonna be a trade.
Oh, it's not done yet.
I was looking at a thing today, and I think it's still like. I mean, it's a verbal agreement, I believe.
Man, like basketball's super genetic. It's crazy.
Yeah.
How many brothers have like played a lot?
For sure. Yeah.
Or it's like a little bit of like like especially like the Currys, like they raised like little basketball gods.
Yeah, I mean, the dad was like one of the greatest shooters of all time before, they were ever like around, and then they're just growing up around that, like at the NBA facilities, putting up shots.
Yeah, there's Steph Curry like bouncing on the NBA court when he could barely talk.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that would be fucking sick.
Look at this.
But do you think the Warriors have the biggest fall off? Since we're talking about the Currys, do you think they're the biggest fall off out of the NBA this year?
Yeah, I think they're gonna be. If they make the playoffs, it's gonna be the bottom.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they have a small chance not to make it.
They do have a small chance not to make it. I agree with that. It's going to be dependent. I mean, Steph Curry could have an MVP year again. We could see one of Steph Curry's last great years, maybe.
People are going to come hard at Golden State.
They got to, because they've been the assholes of the league for the last few years. You know,
it's sad too because people are going to enjoy that downfall like really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's already kind of happened. We like watched it last year. I thought they were pretty good pretty good losers last year. They handled it well. But yeah, I mean, you still got Draymond, you still got Steph Curry, and you still got D'Angelo Russell. So you still have 3 all-star level players. That's it's nothing to say is a bad team by any means. But the West is difficult. If they can get another injury, they might really be in a lot of trouble. But yeah, I don't know. I guess Oklahoma City has a huge fall off too. They're a playoff team with 2 superstars, and now they're nothing.
Who do they have? They have somebody.
Paul George and Westbrook. They both got traded.
No, but they have one person left.
Steven Adams.
That's the best player they have left?
Dennis Schroeder.
That might be the biggest fall off. I don't know, because Golden State was so high, so it's hard to, like...
I mean, yeah, I think those 2 are the teams that have the biggest fall off, but in very different ways.
Oh, no, what am I
Warriors are still a respectable franchise.
Somebody went to some, like, whack team. I can't think of it right now. By themselves.
I thought Kemba to the Celtics was weird.
That's weird. Oh, I know. It's like these are summer edition episodes.
Okay.
But I have one backcourt violation.
Sure, let's do it.
It's rough. Dwayne Wade's original wife. You already saw it?
No, I'm
She's homeless. They have pictures of her on the street. She's like addicted to drugs. People were saying Dwayne Wade should like pay to like put her in a thing, but they were saying that she already got this was years ago, but she already got $5 million from.
Oh, and she just blew it.
So like people are taking pictures of her with her on the street because she's homeless now.
That's a good.
I could send it to you. I was like watching it. I was like, Jesus Christ.
If WNBA players ever make a lot of money, I'm gonna just marry one, and just wait it out.
I think I could get a WNBA player. Like one of the ones who like is a lesbian, but they want to have what would that? Well, so like a beard is when you have
a fake
wife,
husband.
A fake wife. What's a fake husband? A dress.
A bush.
I'd be a bush. I wouldn't care. I would just be at the house. Can I?
Nothing wrong with being a bush.
Would she let me cheat on her? I'll be just like.
Cheat on her with your actual wife?
Yeah. Like, can I have sex with my original wife?
My original wife, please. I miss her so much.
They all look pretty big. Like they'd beat my ass. Smack. No. Your quesadillas are almost done, ma'am.
Did you send her a message and say happy birthday? I told you not to talk to her.
I'm sorry. She was such a great wife.
Yeah. Well, so Dwayne Wade's got a homeless wife, ex-wife, and now he's dating Gabrielle.
Do you think he should pay? That's what everyone's saying.
I mean,
everyone's like, no, fuck her. She got.
I know he had to fight for custody for his own children when they got divorced.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about. I mean, this sounds like a personal matter. I have no idea, man. I don't know if how crazy she is, how homeless she is, how much of a hustle she's trying to pull. I mean, it could be a bad situation where someone needs to watch out for her. But I don't think the answer is give someone crazy and homeless a big lump sum of cash.
Well, he already gave her $5 million.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like, for me, yeah, I would, which is really in his wheelhouse.
Maybe he could just rent for an apartment.
No, I was thinking more just put her in rehab. I was like, I'll pay for all the rehab you need, but I'm not going to give you.
I mean, that would be smart. I mean, that's cool.
I'd give her tickets.
This is for the kids out there. Watch who you fucking. And watch who you're cozying up to, because if you have a baby with them, you're stuck for life. Life.
Yeah, so you can still have a nice life with Gabrielle Union eating her butt and stuff like Dwayne Wade likes to do, and then your homeless wife come after you for more money. Dwayne Wade's life is hard.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade's like one of those guys. He's like a fabulous, smart, well-dressed, intelligent dude that's had a great NBA career and has a great career ahead of him, I would think. But just tragedy strikes all the time. That's the most Chicago
bastard wife, bastard kid, because he has another kid that he doesn't claim. Then he eats Gabrielle Union's butt, and then his wife does drugs and she lives on the street. And like,
well, I mean, I don't know, man.
Paul
He's from
Pierce
Chicago, dude.
he's
He's like yeah. Oh no, I mean, you know, like his cousin died last year in Chicago, right?
Oh really?
Yeah, she got shot. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. He's got a tough life, even though he's got a great life. You know. So I love me some Dwayne Wade. He seems like he's got a great attitude and a great spirit for all he's overcome and come from. But
you may not believe me, but I'd rather have my life than all that stuff.
Really?
I mean, like,
don't you have dead friends too?
Yeah, but like the tragedy, like I mean, I'd rather have less tragedy.
Yeah.
My life, like
that'll give you PTSD. It'll fuck with your head.
Yeah,
It'll
you're always thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he never has like a just chill, like a completely chill time for any long period of time before lawyers are telling him like, oh, your wife wants this, your little bastard kid wants to meet you again.
Or I mean, just the inner demons can push you to greatness too. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's those tragedies that turn you into something like that.
Like Jordan watched his friend drown.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
I didn't know that.
He couldn't swim.
Wow.
So then he would play basketball.
Holy shit. So then he would play basketball. It's like,
is that what we need
he
for
used to hang out at the pool all the time.
I'm done with the pool.
I'm going to the court. There's no water here.
There's no water. He got too much H2O.
Oh shit, did you see Tim Duncan's going to be an assistant coach on the Spurs, by the way?
Yeah, that was crazy.
I think that's an interesting move.
That's awesome.
Tim Duncan is a low-key dude. He's like one of the greatest players of all time. He hasn't been heard from in the last 3 years since he's played, and the first thing he's going to do is he's like, I'm going to be an assistant coach. You know, it's just like you can do anything and you're going to be an assistant coach.
He's going to be like a great coach.
You think so?
I think he's eventually going to become coach.
Oh, you think he's going to take over for Pop?
And then he's like a step above the great coaches that were great players like Steve Kerr and
he wasn't a great player though.
No, but I'm saying
I'm
saying he's a great player.
Oh yeah,
they're just good players that were on championship teams at one point.
Yeah.
Now imagine if Tim Duncan could win like 3 or 4 championships as a coach, which is almost unlimited time because they have like years and years and years to do it.
Yeah, he's in his early 40s.
Yeah, he has like 20-something years, 30 years to be a coach.
Yeah, he's got 30 years.
So like, imagine if he even gets like 5 or 6 rings, he'd be like that.
I mean, that's looking way ahead.
But I'm saying like it's a cool legacy.
Yeah, he's already got 5 rings as like a top 15 player of all time.
Yeah, imagine being like a top player and a top coach.
Yeah.
Because Phil Jackson, Steve
Do we
Kerr,
have anyone like that? I'm trying to think.
No, they don't exist.
Is there any great players that have been decent coaches even? I guess Larry Bird was a decent coach when he was on the Pacers back in the day.
I mean, the hard part is that there's none of them are great players. They're good players.
That's what I'm saying. I think Larry Bird's the only great player that was ever decent. Bill Russell, he was a player coach back in the 60s or whatever.
Jordan tried like some little weird where he like tried to step his foot into coaching, right? And
no, he's always been mostly front office. I think.
But didn't he like show up to games and it almost looked like he was trying to coach like the Hornets or something at one
Probably
point?
early. Yeah.
I mean,
Jordan is awful at anything executive or related to basketball decisions. I mean, he obviously is a good businessman. His shoe empire's huge. He has other great entities
Not
that
a
he
great
runs.
coach.
But yeah, basketball related, I think he's just too good and too much of a maniac.
Yeah, it's too mean.
No one ever puts in the same effort he did.
There's like a video of him smacking a player in the back of the head. You seen that?
Sounds about right to me. That's what happens
Punch
when you're
Steve
good. You
Kerr.
turn into an asshole.
Yeah.
You know. Oh yeah, he obviously punched Steve Kerr back in the day.
I'd give my father's life for a decent point guard.
Can you think of another like really great player that might make a decent coach?
LeBron James.
You think?
Yeah, he'd be a great coach.
I think
Wasn't he like secretly the coach of the Cavs? Everyone thinks.
Yeah, I mean he's obviously got a great basketball mind. I don't know if he would have the patience for that either. I don't know if he ever will coach because he's like got so many other things he can do.
Yeah, that's the problem. Once they become great players, they have so much stuff. They can do movies. They can be announcers.
You know,
being a coach has to be hard.
You know who I could see being a great coach and they were a great player too is Steve Nash.
That'd be nice.
I mean, he's worked with the Warriors the last few years, and he's kind of been around the game in a coaching manner.
A little underrated.
Yeah, I mean, he won back-to-back MVPs. He's headed for the Hall of Fame, but I don't know if he wants to spend his time like that. Like, to be a coach is a whole different grind. It's like just as hard as like making it in the NBA.
You have to travel with them.
Yeah, and you got to like work your ass off and do coaching like film sessions and like always be breaking shit down, come up with schemes, work with your assistant coaches, work with the team, work with management. It sounds like a lot of bullshit to deal with, to be honest.
Yeah, because then like you got to think. Like, there's a lot of players who could be coaches if they wanted to, but they just don't. Because, like Shaq probably could get some team, well, not now, but, like, earlier, he could have got some team to let him assistant coach and whatever. But it's so much more fun to, like, come on and be like, these guys need to do this and this and this.
Well,
and
yeah, so they're working way less for more money, like, to work in TV. Yeah. Like, Shaq gets $10 million, I think, or something like that, let's say, to do TNT games once a week.
Icy hot.
Yeah, well, so much more for that shit, yeah. And it's like, I mean, a once-a-week job on a network, you can make as much money as you make if you're the highest-paid coach in the NBA, if you're that big of a player. So it doesn't make sense financially, but if you love the game, you know.
Yeah. I mean, or you're just going for a top spot in anything.
Right. Jason Kidd did it. He's been trying to coach. He might end up being the coach of the Lakers at some point. He was a great player, but I don't think he's been a great coach in his tenure, but I don't know. Man.
What about Larry Marketing? Have we thought about what's going to happen to him?
That is a goofy looking likeness of him. It looks like he like has the teeth from The Mask. You know, the Jim Carrey teeth?
I can't even play.
Or like a beaver.
I can't even do a Larry Marketing. He almost sounds like something's wrong with him when he talks.
Well, he's from Finland, so he has an accent.
I like the Bulls. The Bulls are really good.
What the
You ever heard him talk? He talks like funny like that.
Well, we're friends, but we don't really talk that much.
I'm sick of Larry Marketing. I'm sick of the Bulls.
Yeah, you should be. They fucking suck. Fuck the Bulls. Garpex.
That's my prediction. I hope something happens. We need something. One thing has to change before we do good.
They should have a Michael J. Fox bobblehead doll.
Oh my god.
All right, you ready to go?
If you made it to the end of the 40 minutes and you have Parkinson's disease, I'm sorry.
This has been the Jester podcast. We'll be back very soon. I'm Brad Rickert.
Shaky start, shaky ending, and Matthew Patrick Torres.
God damn it!